mexeu aí agora? Agora deu play de novo. É, tu que tá fazendo isso, né?
Hey, good morning. Wie geht's dir denn?
Already Christmas. Schon Weihnachten.
Ja, ich habe die ganze Kontur mit Bad und allem. Du. Sogar mit Gamaschen für die Schuhe.
Und schon rote Hosen, perfekt.
So, noch nicht kalt genug. Oh. So, welcome to my stream. We are now on the way to the ships, and from there we will start 2 reservations.
Filipe já está com clientes e tudo.
Mais peixe lá. Bora, encosta-me uma da minha peixe. Bora.
Tens que encostar bonito ao autocarro.
Tá bom.
Falta aí gente. Vai, mais um bocadinho. Tá bom. Olha.
Posso?
Corta isso.
Posso não.
Tiago.
Então,
Tem aqui.
e já vais Nicolau, não, vai não, vai já? Agora já vais disfarçado?
Eu falei o que tu quer dizer, mas...
Olha, tens que vir também de Nicolaus. No dia 6, vens de Nicolaus.
Nicolaus és tu?
Não. Não, tem que ser um homem. A barba é a mesma, tens que pôr a farda no dia.
Já vamos guardar estes dois para famílias. Ninguém se senta nisto. Tens aqui mais duas pessoas.
calminho.
Tá bem. Não posso filmar. Que é bom que eu fico no meio do...
Tiago, estás a guardar os dedos?
aí se calhar compra-se os pastéis e compra-se os pastéis, porque senão vai ser. Não te aproveites, Paulo.
So, he doesn't fit this. You think we can squeeze it like in the middle there? But it's just that we're all together. So it's Isto é uma merda. Isto é uma merda. Magnum, can you squeeze this way? There you go, thank you. No, I'm supposed to keep them, okay? Thank you.
Não, é de facto esse é gigante. As pessoas são teimosas.
Cheio?
Temos ali.
Temos dois?
Há um aí com dois.
Já está.
Primeiro é o último médio dos guardas aos nossos.
Olha, peraí, onde é que está o nosso grupo só para falar bem com a coisa? Olha, vamos só olhar aqui isto.
Carlos.
Oh, Janice, where are you?
Carlos, vai ali ao teu turno, por favor, porque precisas de mim.
saying. I will be your driver.
Good morning, good morning.
So we wait, I guess we need 2 more, and then we will start through the city to the Prestige. We have very famous custard called Tuk-Tuk, and we spent each one taste it, and in between we will see some things about the city. If you want also a bit about this city, if you like it. So just wait for the next one because then I will need to.
That's fine. Thank you.
Which things? 4. Sorry, yeah, Oi.
So my real name is João. It's very difficult to translate. That's why just call me João means the same. So the most common name in Portugal and the most difficult too. So I guess you are all from England, right?
Yes.
So I like to have an English name. They sing it to anyone? No, we have a special history with we are the oldest alliance in Finland since 1384. Between the Windsor and still in the oldest alliance in Portugal. If you want to, like to, I want to also explain how it comes that we became famous Costa talk. A lot of people come again only for this talk. But I guess you have in England also. And then we will go to the wine farm. Some special wine from Lisbon. And there's some really great some cheese, some jam. And in between we will see the city and I will also. So don't worry, I look very formal, but you don't need to call me sir or something. No, not necessary. So it's just so my first question is, do you like history? Maybe you say, why I said yes. So, we Portuguese in our history, we have a thing always came up. Every time when this tiny nation helps someone, it's stronger, get bigger, also more capable. But when our nation was strong, we were thankful to others because we get help in spite of against Islam. Our country was still in the fight against Islam, against the fight from the North Africa. They came in the 7th century, our nation was built in the 12th century, means there was built really in this. So there came a lot of people help us. They came from all over Europe, but the biggest amount of crusaders by our king arrived to Lisbon, taking the castle from the north. He named it after the king of England at that time, was George I. But he wanted to elevate him even more. He don't call it like a king, he called the castle like a son. Why he is not called John Roche, or Sound. We will go in some points you can see. Not inside, but outside. So, in the first start to help was the center of the protector of the holy sites in the Middle East, also Europe, protect the roots, protect the pilgrim, but we talk about the time where they were already kicked out from the Middle East. So, the thing is, there was the only one who had the permission to make money, because the pilgrim can get struggling with money, maybe you guys are the only bank in whole Europe that expects to. That was also a king. King of France, Philip IV, his nickname was so he asked for money, but he kept the right. The first kings were driven by God, but king was that time. So then he asked again. One day the temple might say, no, you don't get more. But of course, we had already
Hello. Some questions, sorry to interrupt. You have one ticket that is written with pen. No? It was not written with pen. Thank you.
So, the presenter book, they are praying to the devil. So, and much more. The list of things they are or not. So they have to flee from all of the places. And of course, you know, Portugal is a Catholic country, so our king has to follow the Pope. Somehow, if we open just a new convent, I guess you never heard, but the Knights came there, so the Knights they even took their sign with them cross. You have to change a bit.
Oh, João, that's Piazza Hills. Sorry, just around. Did you ask for the tickets? Yeah. I did ask for them back. We have one ticket. Multiply, make it show it, make it happen, make it one ticket.
So they have to. They take and put a white cross inside. That became then the sign of the Pillar of Christ. So now comes the really interesting. They have to be in the year 1307. 10 years later, that's the oldest name of the Portuguese navy, and it became the sign of the So, and 3 years later, the command of Christ disappeared. Just 30 minutes. So we have So maybe you saw already the Jesus statue on the other side of the river. It is now in my front. Just a second, you will see it better. Right now is a Tuk in front of. So the other side of the river, on the other side of the harbor, you see a Jesus statue. There you see, near of the bridge. Look, here, on the left. Behind, you see it now?
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah. So the Jesus statue is younger than this one in Brazil. Brazilian called the Cristo Redeemer, and this one called Cristo Rei, Jesus King. So it is 110 meters high from the beginning of the building to the head of the statue, and that's why it is the highest statue of Europe. That's it.
But it's not a cross, it's Jesus with his arms out.
Oh, is it?
I was just about to say, it looked like a big cross.
So we will dive now a little bit in the Alfama. And Alfama is the oldest part of Lisbon. The name is not that old than the spot. It came from the Arabic and means water or lot of water for dates. And that is really true because every few meters is a water container. Even some buildings are built on the top of a water source, so they had running water even in the Middle Ages. So just a moment, we need the green light and you can see it. So, and on my right is the Alfama, and the specialty on the Alfama is behind this house wall there are very tiny roads. So we cannot go through because very tiny, only by feet. So that is older than even horses and carts. So more or less only with donkeys or by feet. And this on the right, that is one of the water sources. It was a hot water spring, and on the top is the bathhouse, which is now an Airbnb. So, do you see the house here on the back side? It's now a white house, right? So, and behind you will see, I guess, a house with blue tiles, and then a red and a yellow one. And one of these houses who's following have spikes on the wall, like little pyramids. So, just a moment, you will see it. You will see just a few seconds. That's why I prepared it like that way. I think now you could see it. You see?
You see the blue tiles?
Yellow, and the house with the spikes on the wall. Right?
Yellow?
After the yellow, a house with spikes on the wall.
Right, okay, right, yeah.
Okay, you will see it again. So now you will see again the house with spikes, yes? So in Portuguese we have a complicated history, but we want to be simple as possible. And that's why we named this building like we see it. It is called the house with spikes, which is in Portuguese Casa dos Picos. The most interesting is not that is the Museum of Saramago, Nobel Prize winner of literature. The most interesting, when you go to the cellar, you found the excavation from a tribe who settled here in Lisbon, and that was the Phoenicians. And this relief was dated on the year 1200 BC, which makes Lisbon the second oldest city of Europe. Only Athens in Greek is older. So, next to this yellow building on my right, you see a church. Yeah. So we had in that place an earthquake and tsunami in 1755. For this building, they're searching the stones all over the city to put it again together, because Vasco da Gama prayed in this church before he founded India. So I said about an earthquake and a tsunami. That is a turning point of the Portuguese history. 1755, the 1st November, that is even as a Christian holiday, that's All Saints Day. At least it's Catholic, I don't know, it is Protestant too. So, what's the specialty is, of course, the earthquake hits the whole city, but in Bairro Alto, which is on the end of the street, there's a whole quarter of my left. The quarter is higher. Bairro Alto means the higher quarter, and there lived in that time the more capable, the more richer people, and they had carpet in the wall, carpet in the floor, and the oil lamps falling down, and the quarter begins to burn incomplete. So these people ran to downtown where he was, and they fought in front of the palace of the king. They are secure, but then came a tsunami and washed away. One tap het extra.
Is this an electric tuk-tuk?
Yes. The center of Lisbon is only for electric cars. The specialty is they don't look it right now. They're just waiting that the electric car gets cheaper, and then they're well prosecuted. But for the companies, it's important to be prepared. So this earthquake and tsunami don't change only Portugal, this change also Europe. The people begin to write letters to each other in any European language. And they have more or less one question. They said, why this country get punished by God? They fight for Christianity, and that even spread all over the world, why it gets hit. So the Renaissance, there was fundamentalistic Christian. So the time age changed from the Renaissance to the New Age. What has happened in the New Age? That started the democratization of Europe, and the United States was founded, and also the Napoleon Wars. We will talk again in a minute. But before, you will see the most important king of Portugal. Here on my right, you have the name like me, João the First, or if you like to, John the First. Why he is the most important? Because he ordered to build the navigation school, he ordered to build the University of Coimbra, and he signed a contract with England, the alliance, and he married the Princess Lancaster to manifest the contract. So he is very known in Portugal, of course, but he's not very known in the world. More famous than him is his third son. And his third son is more translated in any language in the world, in over 250 languages, than even Jesus. You know him in English as Henry the Navigator. So why Henry the Navigator get famous, more famous than its father? Because he get the order to build a navigation school, and he make it to do perfectly, so the Portugal could start the navigation age. So the next square called Rocio, on the center you will see a pillar, and on the pillar you see King Peter IV. And now we talk again about Napoleon. Because of him, I can proudly say that Portugal have something in common with Russia. Russia could not overtake it by Napoleon because it was too big. And Portugal could not overtake him by Napoleon because we was too smart, and our leader was Peter IV on the top of this pillar on my left side. So what she did at first, she changed the capital. She take the heart of the capital from Lisbon and put it to Rio de Janeiro, and everybody who's important to maintain the empire came to Brazil. And when the Napoleon troops came into Portugal, we didn't face them as army, we faced them as guerrilla warriors. So Napoleon troops could not manifest in Portugal, and after a few weeks the Spanish get notice they was already overtaken, came through the border to Portugal, and then we free. I say we free because the English under Wellington was also there. That is the train station, Rocio, built in monolithic style. And a fun fact, the train stopped in the upper floor.
Really?
Because behind is uptown, the quarter who is a few meters higher than the rest of the city. So we have the latchkey. So now we will repeat. Press the top. Let's get out first. So very good. I make more space for my colleague. feeling?
Good, thank you.
Waters. I'm sorry, it's not wine. Maybe next year will be wine. It's water for now. Well.
So, I said already that we talked about how we get our alias. So we will get already notice how we get our name. And that was in the 100-year war. And in this war, England was capable to take the half of France. And it was also about Jeanne d'Arc and everything. So France was capable to push back English from the nowadays France. And then they want to come over even to the island of England, and so the England asked for help, and the only way they can work for the newspaper. So not even one French can take just a step on English ground. And I guess that was the moment that the English and the French learned, and then we could be very capable. So the king of France was still the same. It was Philip IV, the Beauty. The king of France was again Philip IV, and maybe you can guess he started to be very angry against the Portuguese because we cut 2 times his plans. One, the plan against the Templar Knights, and then the plan to take over the British Island. So his decision was to join with the most powerful nation in the Peninsula Iberia, which was Castilla. And France had 14 million people in that time. Castilla had 7 million. And I said already, Portugal had not even 1 million people. And we had a navy, but not the army. Like the small tribes who fight it in wars, was the normal working people with the working stock. So the joint forces of Castilians and French, they came over to Portugal, and we welcomed them about 100 kilometers from Lisbon in Alfama. We was not alone. The English came with the famous longbow knights. So, but still, they came along, and the troops of them was 5 times more than the joint forces of English and Portuguese. But we could prepare the site, so the most French get into our traps, and the Castilians begin to fight against the Portuguese. After hours, they turn around and begin to run. And that is the moment of a woman. A bakery woman with her 6 fingers every hand, with her bakery shovel, and she killed 7 Castilians on the run. So the battle of Alfama, we Portuguese say that is the day when Portugal gets its coup. So, and just to notice, in the beginning, the underdogs was the Portuguese and the English, because England had, at that time when the French king wanted to come over, just 6.5 million people. And after it turned everything opposite. England gets the biggest one, and we was happy, and we started the discovery age, and we lasted for the longest, because we gave it up 1975. So just to get notice what's the time. So countries like Angola in Africa was 500 years Portuguese. So there's a lot of countries in Europe who are not that old. Now again in the Basha, as I said already, we like to have simple words, and Basha means just down. So downtown for down, that's very easy. And the downtown was hit by the tsunami, and you will also notice on the shape of the streets, because you will find streetline streets, and the building have more or less the same size. Even the windows and the floors have the same distance, because it was built in a row. Just a second, then you can see it better. Streets, and the buildings are more or less the same size. Please look now to my right. There you see the oldest elevator of Lisbon, was built in 1902. And on the top you see a bridge which brings you to uptown. So the next building on my left after is the old National Bank of Portugal. So we have because our currency is now the euro, means the national bank is a joint one in Frankfurt, Germany. So we are now on the way to Uptown, and you will see it is now in my front the bridge which brings from the elevator to Uptown, there in front.
All right, yes.
So, and this street here, the Rue Garret, is the old shopping street for the upper class. But we have over 100 years no kings anymore. So the most shops was changed to modern brands. But a few are still the old one. Just a second. Please look to my right. There is an old jubilee. The inside is still the old one. And on this street we have also the oldest bookshop in the world, which is still in force, in work. It is the Librairie Bertrand. Please look to my left. This building in the corner. There we are. This one. Since 1732. So if you have the time to go around Lisbon, I recommend to go in any church you found, because they are all different. So this one on the corner, there's known that are built like the 16th Capelle with big paintings. So now we will see the most important for the man. This is the moment to ask a man, what is the most important for you?
The wife.
Yeah, the wine. Wine is great. So I would wait for that you say the beer.
All right, yeah, that one as well. You take the wife for a beer.
Please look to my left side. On the end of this cobblestone street, you see a yellow building. That is the old brewery. Have the color like the Portuguese beer is golden yellow. So we had a big earthquake, so we decided to not to rebuild this church on my right. That is a remember of the earthquake.
When was the earthquake?
Hmm?
When was the earthquake?
1755. 1st November 1755. So, and the next building is the headquarters of the National Guard, and they protect himself because that is also the place where the revolution against our dictator had ended, because the dictators flee to the National Guard. And you see this one in the front, with blonde hair. So if someone said we have no blonde hair, it's not true. So the dictator fled to the National Guard, and the tanks from the army was in front, and then the National Guard and the army pleased the dictator to leave the country. So on the left you see an old theater, the Theater Trinidad. It is still in work. Don't look like, but in the evening they open the wooden door and then you can enter to see the next piece. So let's resume our story with England. So England helped us with the Crusaders. We helped England with our navy. England helped us with their longbow knights. And then we make a contract. The Treaty of Windsor, 1384. And I guess it was for both the best decision. So this church looks not very special, but it is the most richest from inside because there's a lot of golden ornaments. That is called South Rocks. So I would say Donald Trump would love it. Miradores are viewpoints, and this one's called São Pedro del Castara. With a nice view to the downtown, to the Baixa, and also to the oldest part of Lisbon, which is the we'll come later also to that place. You see also the castle on the right. In front of me, it is a white building with a roof which looks a little bit from the Middle East. Do you see it? Here on my right? There? Straight on? There? The white building? It looks a little bit like an old mosque, but it is the Prince Royal. That is the building where the Crown Prince lived in. So what is also special to other kingdoms? Our Crown Princes lived in between the people, so there was not separated. and that's extra. Please look to my right. That is the court, the constitutional, oh sorry, difficult word. The main court. Sorry that I'm honking. But I have
Yeah, it's really good show. I mean, was it Ship Ahoy? That was free. That was a free one. Acts Away or something like that. And then this Fizz and Noir, which showing us 2 nights. Fizz is tonight, it was last night and tonight, and then there's Noir at the end of the week. You do get a glass of champagne with it, so. Yeah.
We've got one in the fridge still, we brought with us.
Yes. Yeah.
We're not taking it back.
Yeah.
We did better than the team that was swapped over the paper.
For 3 hours you are my family. We have to look after each other.
So here's the stop for the wine.
What a view.
You with me, yeah?
So, because I'm not right to stay here, you have just to follow my team leader.
Okay.
And then I look how I pick you up. Tem que andar tudo que me casa. Eu não posso virar aqui em frente não nada para discutir, entra, volta, vou tirar o meu. Tanta discuta merda, pá.
Já estou dizendo a coisa do telemóvel da mãe. Tá.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Never know. So, get me too hot. So there we are. Tension, get a bit rough. What was this?
Stone.
A stone? Okay. Okay.
I get shot across the road.
Subscaling. So you will see on my left the statue, and that is hero of the 19th century Civil War, General de Sada Bandeira, and he have no right arm. So what was about? Maria II was too young to make her stuff for the monarchy, so its uncle gets the power of the states, not usually just for a few years. Maria II was a liberal, and she had to get the power of the state, but the uncle was not unfavored for that because he was a traditional monarchist. So what she wants to make a constitutional monarchy with a parliament, and he wants to keep the classical. But she was on the right. She was the legal leader of the country, so she had to start a war against the troops of so they prevail, and so she gets the country, and the uncle lost. And and by the way, they want also to end with the slavery, so they end also the slavery in the colonies and also in Portugal. So this street is just 7 years old and drives like you are on a... Yeah, so it feels like 7 years. It feels like 50 years old. So this is a street called the Now. They built it as Nows, like this shipwreck boat. And they put this name on that place because on my left is the building of the Portuguese Navy. The headquarters, of course. So the Convent of Christ Trust is now the sign of all our forces, so not only the Navy. So the sign of the Navy now are 2 triangle saints. And please look to my left, the 4 banners, 2 white one with the sign of all our forces, and 2 blue one with the sign of the Convent of Christ. Blue one with the 2 triangle saints of Convent. place of Lisbon. Oh, now we have red, so we have to wait. This place called Praça do Comércio, and that is the place also where the palace of the kings was located before all the tsunami washed away. And then they make a place for the people. On the center you will see the statue of the king of the earthquake. He was Jose the First. You look now. So Jose the First was just 5 years on charge, and then he saw the tsunami and the earthquake. So he looks to an ancient tree of very successful kings, and all his life he make one question to himself: why God punished me? So he gets in deep sadness. He goes to his castle about 30 kilometers from here in Sintra, and he locks for him the rest of his life up to take the guilty on himself from the country. So he just said 2 sentences to Marquis de Pombal. He said, bury the dead and take care of the survivors. Marquis Pombal was a minister president, so he get a lot of power because you know, it was not very Pacific order. And so on the end of his work, he makes the biggest statue of himself. The biggest statue of Lisbon is from him and not from a king. And we will don't pass there because that is a bit outside, and there's a big traffic around. That's why we don't pass to this monument. But we're facing now the oldest part of Lisbon, and to go to the oldest part we have to climb the hill, because the cities and even the villages in Portugal started from up to down. So why? Because the climber on the higher places are better. In the summer, of course, you know, it's a bit windier, but also in the winter, because in the winter here rains a lot and never freeze. So the air gets moisty and moisty, and the moisty air gets also down here. So the next we will see, it's maybe important when you came home. So, for the case, you found some guy or some woman which came original from Lisbon. And maybe you will talk about the beautiful city, maybe you will talk about a nice tour guide, but there will come always one question. If you are not in this tuk, you don't get it. She or he will ask you if you saw the Sant Antonio, the Saint Anthony. The Saint Anthony is one of the most important saints of the Catholic Church. He is the saint of the poor people and the lost things. He gets his holy status in Padua, Italy. But he's born here in Lisbon. You see a house with a metal fence? That is the house where he born. You see a black statue? That is Sant Antonio's statue. And you see a white church? That is Sant Antonio Church. So he get his holy status because he could explain the belief very well, and some miracles are also linked to him. So he was a priest and explained the belief on God, on Jesus. So that's why he's special. And he started to be a priest here in Lisbon, and he served for the cathedral. The cathedral is here to my right. The cathedral survived earthquake and tsunami incomplete. Only one pillar moved about a few centimeters, but the roof didn't fall down. And it is also the oldest church here. It was built 1147, right when our king arrived to Lisbon. And by the way, our important church, and the cathedral of course is an important church, is built on the battlefields of the Crusaders. And who fought here? He fought the English Crusaders. That's why they put the cathedral on this place. So you already recognize that we are again climbing the hills. Yeah. So Lisbon have a lot of hills, and because we have a lot of hills, we have a lot of miradores. One you saw down on Uptown, and the next one called Santa Lucia, and there you have a nice view to the harbor and also the cruise liners. Please look to my right after the view. So, and we are really rich on miradores. And the next one is just in a few meters. The next one have a poetical name. It's called Porta do Sol, the doors to the sun. And usually when we go in, it feels like there's someone opened the door and the sun comes in. But I guess this time it don't feel like that because there's no sun today. And Porto do Sol is just here. So please look to my right. There you will find a statue, and the statue is from the real sand of Lisbon, and that is St. Vincent, São Vicente. Look at what we have on the left hand. We have a ship, and on the ship you have crows. We will talk a bit more, but now we have to see. So please look to my left. After this pink building on the corner, you will see a little hill. On this little hill is a tiny house which looks a little bit out of the place. And there it comes. It looks completely different because it's just much older than the rest. It is from the 7th century. And behind the bus station you see some modern art, a mosaic built on Capel stone. Our city invited a lot of modern artists from all over the world, and they mostly share something about Portugal or Lisbon, and that's why we believe this face is from our most famous fadista, Rodrigues. Fadistas are the people who perform and sing the fado music, our folk music. Our folk music is singing philosophy. The most important are the lyrics who have to elevate us to a higher level of culture, to understand situations better.